Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first cast of the first Base Trade TV live event. This is Hell, It's Aboot time, and of course I'm Rifkin, starting off the day with my partner Zombie Grub. Now, this is going to be an interesting matchup. We are in the open brackets. It's the first one selected, and in the bottom right corner of the map, we've got the green Zerg player, My Insanity's Pengwin. And I can't do my own camera swivels because apparently I'm not observing. That's right.
That's
How
so
weird is that? Exactly.
Okay. In the top left, as the pink Protoss, it is Creature.
I guess this will be the first time I ever actually have to use the observer controls to watch someone else's camera.
It's amazing, actually.
You do this all the time. I never have to do this.
Yeah.
This is an experience.
You know what else is amazing is these white bars.
Well, the stream can't see them.
Right, I know, but you know, now you can.
Yeah,
so.
I'm experiencing the hardcore censorship.
Right.
All right, so one of the big things to talk about too, Creature, I alluded to this before we got into the game, North American hero. Plays for Team Ascension. We actually got to see him a little bit in the lobby. Overall, pretty cool dude. Pengwin, coming from My Insanity, a lot of you might not know this. He's not only a player. That delay is going to make this really fun today. He's also one of the managers. Makes sure My Insanity runs as well as it does. He knows the ins and outs of the business, and he's a cool dude. So we've had some not great, honestly, experience with the Pengwin in the past, but he's always been brought down by his arch nemesis Terran. Today he actually gets to fight against Protoss, and he's actually not bad against Protoss.
No, not bad at all. In fact, while Creature is definitely a very good player, Pengwin, you know, we were talking to him in the lobby earlier, and he feels oddly comfortable about his chances to at least get far in the bracket. Of course, top 2 from the open bracket, so that's the winner's bracket will get through, and the loser's bracket 4 will get through. And for a lot of people, that actually sounds doable. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, you consider too, we had a 64 limit on the bracket, and while some might consider it a failure that we didn't fill the 64 slots, I'll tell you the players here are very happy about that because it greatly increases the chances they actually get through to the group stage. One thing too for the audience, we do in the back, I'll remind everybody, we got a cheerful sign. Now, you guys know this means a lot. Zombie and I went to Walmart, and maybe she'll tell this really embarrassing story of me if you ask her nicely somewhere at the event later. But through hardships, we actually got a bunch of cardboard paper. We got pens in the back. We want you guys to make some cheerfuls. Put your logos, put your shout-outs on them, whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
But, starting with a pause.
Bit of pause.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh. Well, looks like we're going to caster cameras. This is not something we're used to doing.
No,
normally we just sit through the pause and like, well, I hope everything's okay.
Yeah, that's basically what we do. I mean, there's you just see your face.
The reality is, at home, I am lazy with production, and I could easily swap to caster scenes when technical problems happen, but...
Or that.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Okay, but besides from posters, and this is what I thought you were going to bring up, not that super embarrassing story, which I'll absolutely tell everyone the first chance I get.
Or you could not. You could also not.
No, but I could.
Oh, okay, I see.
So, probably going to. Is that, of course, there's temporary tattoos in the back. So, for any of you that saw me with more pictures, my Twitter picture actually, I guess, is like, it's so beautiful, I try to live up to it every day. Face tattoos. Face tattoos. They add +10 cuteness, guaranteed. It's like your D&D character.
It's a legit stat, guys. Apparently real and
absolutely
fantastic.
real.
But looks like players are ready to go, so I'm waiting for production to be like, we're switching back. Oh, looks like that happened. Okay, good. So, we're back in game, and crisis averted. Now, as far as openings go in this game, we talked about this too. Believe it or not, guys, we actually did some studying, and we were like looking at maps and all these things. So we did swap out some of the maps, made it a little bit different for the map pool. But when we were going back through the qualifier replays, we realized, wow, Vonnegut Research Station, all these other maps, they had a lot of these golds that a lot of Zerg were taking. This is like the only map that really has, well, I guess Dash and Drummo, but still, like, none of the new gold map bases are worth taking anymore. And it's funny because all of these players that we saw play, like, they qualified through, like, gold-based maps.
Yeah, that is a little awkward. I mean, technically, Terraform is the one where you could do a gold-based steal, but it's just not as good. Of course, on Terraform, if you take the gold base, you're going to have the entire backside of the gold base for Stalkers or Hellions, whoever, to run into and really disrupt your day. Whereas, the other gold maps, it was really easy. So this is a little bit annoying. Oh, yeah, right? Well, we'll add that sound effect ourselves, I suppose. But this is annoying, and of course, they're going to get free scouting, basically. They're going to see, for instance, that it was 1 gas. If Creature was planning on doing a 1 gas 4-gate, Pengwin would have been like, hey, that's a little suspicious, and you just told me exactly what you're doing. It would have been absolutely terrible. So this does maybe force Creature to change his plans, which is never ideal.
I mean, seeing a second gas is weird, because I think in most other matchups would be very uncomforting, but when you see like the 1, you know it's not going to be 7 gates following it up if it's 2. Like,
his Terrans are just like, second gas must be an Oracle, no matter what.
Oracle into blanket of DD is like you start freaking out. But no, the links, that's one thing I don't like about this is Pengwin did kind of sacrifice them all here. Went for some very minor damage. He could have got the same amount of scouting. I mean, it's 4 length. It's hardly worth criticizing, but, you know, really hope that doesn't cost him here against Creature. Pylon goes down here, suddenly he's got no links to chew it off. He's not looking for proxies. I don't know how Creature plans to play, but Penguin's got to keep his eye on the map, because against any Protoss player, man, you got to watch out for those pylons.
Yeah. Honestly, if Creature had the money, he might have wanted to go ahead and pylon block that third base. Now, it sounds like not ideal because the third base isn't the most important base and whatnot, but really, that was all the Lings Penguin had. He would have had to make more. It was just a little bit. And of course, you can always cancel it when you force that issue out, but obviously didn't happen. So,
ooh.
What?
Burrow.
Oh, yeah, very early Burrow. Wow. Okay, so I imagine he's going to actually try and attack here. Of course, he can be used defensively if they try and push out without a robo just to scare you and stop you from droning. If you only have 6 roaches, but they can burrow, that'll push them back, almost no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big things, too, we've been seeing a lot more is like Protoss in general, whether it's a gateway all-in or not, lots of sentries in that army, and a burrow is such a good move to like just negate that power, to have the sentries waste the force field, to not lose all the roaches for nothing. We'll see if he follows up with tunneling claws or not. There are certain ways you can really abuse those right now in the game, but being hot and not Legacy of the Void, it's not as good as we've seen on some streams.
Yeah. Now, of course, Pengwin is, I mean, his drone count's not ideal. There we have another surge of drones and, of course, a couple of roaches because Creature is doing a 3-gate attack. Now, he has all of his gases back home. It actually doesn't look like he's mining from them, though. Oh, he's just taking them right now, that's why. So basically, this is going to be a pressure. It really shouldn't do that much damage, but if the opportunity is there, if they literally have nothing but slow Lings, you can warp in, you know, 3, 6, 9 more Zealots and actually do some damage. At the very least, this will force them to stop droning, which Pengwin really, I mean, doesn't want to do. He's not exactly an ideal count right now.
You know, I just realized, too, we got the action kicking off. We got the player cameras on. I totally forgot about that. You guys can see the Carbine art behind, art behind Pengwin and Creature, so it looks fantastic. Now, of course, the Queen's going to come to defend. Got to shoot down that mothership core. Doesn't want a recall to go off. But that next, that hatchery, okay, there's the transfuses. Getting really scary low.
Yeah, that would have been absolutely terrible. Of course, Pengwin did start making those roaches when he noticed this was on its way, but that was...
Misses half the stalkers. A bit of a mistake with that recall.
Luckily, speed was not taken very early, so they're allowed to get home free, basically. And really, he could have warped in nothing but stalkers and really used their micro potential here to do even more damage, but didn't decide to. Now, this is interesting. Penguin did not go for roach speed. He's going for
Ling speed.
Yeah, Ling speed and tunneling claws. So, I mean, the Ling speed might have been because, I mean, you usually get that, right? You don't usually skip it forever because eventually Lings are going to be useful. But to actually skip roach speed is very much so usually intentional. Like, it's a build. You have this super early burrow with tunneling claws. They don't expect it. They don't have an observer. I mean, the robo's only just now finishing up, that type of stuff. But I don't know. It's got to do damage, basically, right? Like, it's pretty committed. He's only at 48 drones. The good news is Creature has not taken a third base, and it's all being gooped up right now, but Pengwin is doing a lot with Army here.
You know, I really thought he pushed back the stalkers really well. He forced the recall. I know speed wasn't done, but I thought he was really going to go pressure, but at the same time, I really don't mind him getting control of his side of the map either. You know, with that creep spread also means there's not going to be pylons being built anywhere randomly. But, yeah, it is one of those things where I'm worried because we're going towards Blink. We got upgrades actually not looking too bad for Creature. Every ZV anything, Zombie camera's freaking out a little bit. Okay. But every ZV anything we see versus Protoss, it ends up being like mass Blink, Stalkers, crazy micro battles, good upgrades, and all these things. So Pengwin does have to make sure he doesn't sit back too long, because the last thing he wants to do is let Creature build up that crazy army. Right now, Creature's army is actually kind of small, kind of low, and not that great. Pengwin could overwhelm, and Creature has to be careful of that.
Yeah, of course, Creature did that attack. That was a bit of a dedication, so he couldn't get the early Nexus, and then, of course, he has to be worried that his opponent's making units kill that Nexus. So he really does have to hold on from that for a while. So in 11 minutes, it's finally go down.
Perfect time in that denial of the rocks, too. The roaches were almost underneath it. So for Pengwin, not going to be able to use the burrow trick right now. But again, even if you've got detection, and even if you can see the burrowed roaches, the big thing about this is they can still move through those force fields.
Yeah, I am still worried, though. While Pengwin is going into mutas, and I do remember this, that Pengwin does like mutas in basically every single matchup.
He likes the base trade a lot.
Yeah, that's true, too, which is totally going to be hype when that actually happens. But he still hasn't gotten roach speed, and that is worrying. I mean, you just, same as, you know, speedlings, basically. You never really want to skip that.
Do you think it was forgotten? I mean, like,
I think it's just straight up forgotten. The roaches and the lings are still going to be very important with the Spire.
Yo, if you can get this +2, I'd almost imagine it'd be worth losing some of the roaches, because now Creature segmented himself off from Pengwin's army.
Oh, no. And that's the Forge. That's +2.
That's +2. That's a big deal for the Stalkers, of course. Blink's still not done, so the Lings get in here. The Stalkers are forced to fight for a second. Blink now finished, but a small army nonetheless for Creature. And Pengwin, he's just sitting through the force field. He can burrow through. Burrow to escape, burrow to attack. He's not doing either, though.
Yeah, I don't think there's an observer right over this army. Is there? Oh, no, there
No,
it is.
there is.
Right
There
there.
is.
All right,
So
so I mean, especially if he had speed, he definitely could have done the shark attack, but that Immortal was chopping away at the roaches pretty much without taking any damage itself, and the Lings were held off by the force fields.
So I would argue that you losing that many roaches for sentries isn't worth it, but getting that +2 to now was pretty big.
Yeah, yeah. Especially because now it is going to be more about those stalkers than it is about these immortals that Creature is getting. So Creature is second immortal. I mean, basically really going to be useless because it doesn't look like Penguin is making any more roaches. Usually you're going to use whatever is on the ground that you had available to multi-attack, basically, with the Mutas. So in this case, it's going to be just Lings, but I guess now the Verge speed isn't such a big deal.
Immortals shoot up.
No, that's a bad idea. No, Marauder should, though.
Actually, can you imagine the Immortals versus like a battle cruiser? You're like, oh, damn it. Why did I even build this thing? Warp into the main. Stalkers are not going to be enough to stop this. So those Mutalisks are going to have a little bit of free reign to do some damage. The overcharge goes off, and the Mothership Core gets sniped immediately. So that's the only overcharge he's going to have. Now, Penguin can't really fight this army head on. I don't think it's strong enough. But if he can keep Creature at home, maybe bait him back. I mean, as we see in the bottom left, huge swell of Lings looking to attack that third. They're going to get in there. There's only one cannon here, barely to defend. No photon overcharge, so big surround on the Nexus. He should be able to kill this third.
And he messed up the Sim City, too. Like, those Lings got seriously a full surround
oh my God.
on it.
That is, 100% a full surround. The thing is, Penguin still doesn't have upgrades, though, going into this. Like, this is brute force tactics, and he's hoping that numbers will win in the game. But he doesn't have numbers on his side.
Yeah.
And if this is a base trade, I don't know. Immortals tear down buildings pretty quick, Zombie Girl.
Yeah, of course, those Immortals really help on a base trade if the Spine Crawlers are supposed to. And they're supposed to come up usually. Once you realize it's a base trade, and if you go Mutas, you're very familiar with base trades, you're going to start building those spines, at least in the natural, or at the very least in the main base. And Penguin, while he has 1,700 minerals, never started it. Now it might be too late. Unless he can get drones over to that fourth and hope that Creature doesn't kill them all before then, he's not going to have that very necessary Spine Crawler wall to win this base trade, but he is still doing a lot of economic damage. He's going to get the Dark Shrine.
Ooh.
Kind of thank God for him.
Yeah.
That Dark Shrine can really change base trades.
Changes games just in general. You're like going there, kill off like what little drones you miss, but Creature I really feel's got a handle on the game. I mean, the supply count overall is pretty even for both of them, but the problem is Penguin's bleeding out buildings very quickly. It's a lot of Stalkers in the main to defend as well. He's just sending out Lings, he's sending out Mutas, he's just trying to escape the onslaught.
Burrow is being used. Where is that Observer? It's just trailing behind. No, it's in the main base, so it is going to go kill the drones.
Second Dark Shrine is going to finish in just a moment's time, and all he's going to need is like 1 or 2 Dark Templar. Get some Archons in there to deal with the Mutalisks, get some Dark Templar to deal with the Lings. I mean, the Stalkers are doing a decent job trading, and that cannon's helping a ton.
Okay, well, he's not going to get the Dark Templar yet. He just simply doesn't have any money, and his probes are going down to the main base. He might actually not be able to afford mineral-wise a Dark Templar here.
Oh,
a waste of a Dark Shrine.
You get a Dark Shrine, you got like 124 minerals, you're just like, no!
Exactly. Oh, but Penguin, is he running out of buildings? Of course, his last building's been found. He still has 1,000 minerals in the bank if he can get a drone out somewhere.
He has a spawning pool, a Spore Crawler, and 2 extractors. Actually, where's that Spore Crawler? If he lifts this, he can, of course, move it around the map, but... Yeah,
sneaky.
Yeah.
You hate when this happens, though.
Like, it's so frustrating, too.
You leave, and you're like, let's find another hatchery that's gone, and they just put it back in, like, their main or something, and you're like, really?
Penguin is, by the way, trying to put his natural back down, so that's building while this goes on. He does kill the Nexus, and... I mean, it is a base trade, right? Base trade TV. But, I mean, the thing is, I don't think Penguin can take on this army, and circumventing this many Stalkers, because they have Blink, is going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
The Lings are certainly out of the question. If he had been able to snipe off that Observer... Actually, he did. With Observer being sniped, he could just burrow all day. Stalkers come in the main, burrow the Lings. They don't need to run away. They don't need to fight. Wait for the Stalkers to chase the Mutas. Boom. Unburrow, kill the buildings.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So, I mean, Penguin has to win, right? Like, he has...
I don't know, because the thing is, Penguin, I love him to death. He chokes in these sort of situations, and he might end up taking a bad engagement. He might forget about the last few buildings he has standing.
All right, there go the Lings.
He's not burrowing. He's not burrowing. He has. I don't think he knows that there's no Observer.
How did he not notice that though? That was over the army. I mean, he ran into the Spore Crawler. That must have what happened.
That must have been
Yeah, so he doesn't know that he sniped the last Observer.
I would check that Spore Crawler, but the Sentry killed it, so can't anymore.
No, don't unburrow the drones. They're good.
Oh,
they're fine.
And it's fake Archon. He jukes past. He goes for the Sentry.
Save them. Stop.
Where's the one probe of Creature? That's what I really want to know, because Creature actually doesn't have the money to build an extractor. He can't build an assimilator. He can't build anything. They're both... Penguin has 900 minerals that he can't use. He's trying to get a couple Lings. Oh my gosh.
Why did you throw?
I don't... You know what, Zombie Girl? I don't know what to tell you at this point.
Oh, God.
This is getting a little bit gross, because Penguin, I don't think, has the killing power anymore. He's making a couple links, but everything just sits here at home and sits around that robo. No problemo. But at the same time, for Creature, if he wants to give Pengwin 20 minutes of time, Pengwin has a base, and he's starting to mine.
He could have had 14 more drones, though, I'm just saying.
I know the players can't hear me, but Pengwin, I'm looking at you right now, bro, and I swear to God.
Oh, my God. All right. So, I mean, like, getting queens on a bet, he still has a lot of money, and he still even has some gas whenever you get, like, a Roach Warren or something down. I mean, he can certainly, if he's given 20 minutes. A Creature, it's all up to him. He doesn't have the Nexus. He doesn't have the minerals. It usually is Protoss's decision, basically, to, you know, force the base trade and whatever. Usually get fed up.
Actually, you know, we're talking about the long term, but honestly, Mutalisk regenerates so quick. If they go in, pick off a Stalker one at a time, but don't die and just disengage, he'll win this game. But, I mean, he built a Spore Crawler. I'd love that because he's got mobility now.
Right.
He can actually lift this building and take it wherever the hell he wants.
Hopefully he remembers that. That's the thing, like, if Pengwin really played this perfectly, okay, the Immortals, that's a good attempt. They find the hatchery, they could have killed him. Because really they're not useful versus any of the units right now, so it was a good idea. It does end up saving them.
I just want to point out, by the way, that Mutalisk would have died if that was +2 weapons too. Like, I mean, this is... That denial of that Forge earlier is still having ramifications this late into the game.
Yeah.
But go figure, it's our first live event, it's our first cast, and this is the game we end up with, right?
It's an amazing game, whatever, man.
I've got no complaints. I'm just saying, like, that's our luck, right? I've got no complaints. But okay, so Penguin's going to come over here and try and pick this off. The sentries are still sitting at hallucinations because honestly, a Guardian Shield's not going to help him much at this point. Penguin might get spooked if he sees a fleet of Phoenix, even if they're not real.
That's true. That's true.
Those blinks have got to be careful. Those are his last couple of stalkers. He really doesn't have any money to produce anything.
Yeah. I was going to say, if Pengwin played it absolutely perfectly, that army supply really shouldn't go anywhere. You know, the Lings can always burrow, the Mutas should be able to bounce out and heal up. So, I mean, that's, like, absolutely perfect, which doesn't really exist in StarCraft. But that's why the army supply really doesn't tell the tale here.
Do you see what's been going on while this has been happening, by the way?
What?
Pengwin has still been consistently spreading his creep while this has been happening. So he is really still trying his damnedest to win this game. He's got a lot of drones, his production's looking good, he's got a spawning pool on the way, and truth be told, if Creature tries to leave at any point to go kill that, this is why we have the creep tumors. Pengwin has vision. He'll know if that army comes to his base, boom, goes in with Mutas, picks off another pylon. If he sees 4 Stalkers segment off, boom, picks him off with the Lings. Creature actually, because he doesn't have an Observer, can't clean up any of his creep, and Penguin's going to have free vision for the rest of the game. He's going to pick off some of the sentries. What little anti-air there is left.
He can take that on, no problem.
Just move it, man. I think he's got this. Last bit of Creature's army starting to go down, and it's the air that matters. Who cares about Zealots? The Immortal is irrelevant. The Sentry goes down, so does the Stalker. He's trying to bring the other Stalkers to the front line, but he's already bled out too much, and it looks like Pengwin has just locked down this game.
Well, I mean...
Would you have believed this, by the way, after watching Creature attack? Like, Pengwin, please.
I mean, honestly, when he went to Mutas and he denied +2, we had the Swarm Host era for about a year and a half where people forgot how to play Muta base trades, basically. But Pengwin was a guy who was still doing it whenever we got the odd cast, like DreamHack or something. So if he was going, if he was going to start, that's right, a base trade with Mutas, I had faith in him. I was like, okay, yeah, he knows what to do. But the no spine crawler wall really threw me off, and I was like, oh, did he forget? Like, is this how he's going to play it? Yeah. So to me, it was almost inevitable that Pengwin did win. I feel like this was his element to win, but it still was a very close game.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great move out of Creature. It's really his only move to try and do this. Penguin's trying to base trade it out, but I feel just come home and kill that army. Like, he sees the full strength of the army. I think he's hoping the spine crawlers will hold back at his other base. There is this nice little loop of them up, but those Mutalisks could really just end this game. All they have to realize is, like, he's got the vision on the creep. He knows there's nothing remaining. There's a total of 5 Stalkers and 3 Sentries. That is almost nothing. So look at the Immortal. Everything here is like damaged, half dead.
Yeah, no, it's really nothing. He's even starting to make those Lings again. I mean, Pengwin has basically officially won. It's just about that killing move because Creatures don't want to give up. It was a very frustrating game. I mean, there's game 2, game 3, and the losers bracket.
As silly as this is, too, it's very obvious to us that he's won this game. Maybe not so much to him, but I know that Pengwin was actually really determined to do well in this. He is, for a while, had a chip on his shoulder where he wants to prove to people that he knows how to play this game well. And especially that's because we tease him all the time for it. Yeah. So I can totally understand playing it safe in this situation.
I don't know why he's so scared. It's 13 Mutas to 5 Stalkers. They both up +1.
He didn't take the in-control school of Flaponomics, so he actually doesn't realize how many Mutalisks he has. I want Mutalisk wings that go like this, not like this. All right, good game to Pengwin.
Yeah.
All right, so that was really well played by Pengwin. I did not think he was going to win that game, to be honest, but he takes the lead in the series, and it is a best of 3. So I'm not sure what the next map is, but it's 1-0 in his favor.
Yeah, you know, I kind of wanted to fix my chair.
We probably could have done that when we weren't on camera, thinking on
Right?
it. We had like
Yeah,
a whole
probably should
30-minute
have.
game to.
I was trying to figure it out.
Actually,
Watching on camera awkwardly.
Next time, you know what we'll do? Okay, you can awkwardly fidget. Or I was gonna say, next time we get in a game, we can just stand and do the high.
Yeah, let's do that.
I actually have to fix the watches too, because the overlay is kind of blocking them out a little bit. But let's get Mr. Andrew Sword to host Game 2 for us. Big thank yous and shout out to all the folks who are involved with this, by the way. I don't mean just the production crew, and I don't mean just the audience here, but to the other casters. You know, we got some B streams going on with Wardy. He's going to be helping us out through the course of the weekend. We got Take TV rocking this as well. So make sure you guys go check them out on Team Liquid. For the actual audience here, though, guys, we know there's the screen could be better. We are working on that. I'll let you know. We're fully aware. We're not trying to make you guys sit through anything bad. The production crew is going to fix it. But hopefully you guys can see the TVs. We got a display at the front and a live feed from the players. You can see exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
And of course the soothing commentary of Rufkin and Zombie Grub. You have to deal with. You see, now you don't just have to deal with the weird jokes. You have to deal with the weird faces that come with them. Because
yeah.
That's right. You never get to see me when we're casting together.
No, not usually. He sees me all the time, but I don't make that stupid faces.
Well, in fairness, I think I see your cat more often than you. And you got the little show stealer.
Yeah,
Apollo.
I was gonna bring him, but you know, turns out he doesn't do well in airplanes.
Yo, real talk. I was actually really sad when I got on the plane and I saw them loading the dogs into like the luggage area. I guess I don't know if there's a proper word for it. But like they had the kennels going in and the dogs are barking and they're all scared. I'm like, I would never take my pet on a plane. Like that must be so terrifying. You're just shoved in like this dark area, 7 hours. You have no idea what's going on.
There are like certain like airplane things, people, whatever, companies that are literally just for pets. So you can pay like $1,000 for a plane ticket just for your pet, and it's like a tiny little thing, and they have like air conditioning and stuff.
That actually, you know what? That's one of those things where like I know I'm a pet person, so I would definitely shell out that money.
Right?
But that was a nice map. Coda! Coda's going to be map number 2. We're actually hopping into it right now, so see you guys in a sec.